What's happening, Carolina fans? Welcome to Two Fans in the Stands, a podcast related to all things Carolina Panthers and North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm your co-host, Tony.
And I'm your co-host, CJ.
Let's go. CJ, what's happening, cuzzo? How you feeling this victorious Monday morning?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. Anytime Panthers can go out to the West Coast and get it done, it's a good day.
Yeah, can the church say an amen?
Amen.
All right. Well, let's get right to it. Did yesterday's game give you any hope for a potential playoff run?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, because I thought out of the last 5 games, this was the game that we had to not necessarily worry about the most because I don't want to look past anybody else, but this was the one I was, most worried about as of yet. So going out there and winning the way we did, it does give me a little bit of hope. But in the same breath, I don't want to get too excited because I don't want to get ahead of myself, and I hope the Panthers don't get ahead of themselves, going
I agree
forward.
with you on that.
So I hope they take it one game at a time because, like they say in the schoolyard, you don't have to be scared to get your ass beat. So we shall see.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, you definitely have to definitely take it one day at a time, one game at a time, but you have to have that playoff mindset. You have to come with that playoff intensity right now,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see, but
go ahead. No, I was gonna say, give me your thoughts on the game.
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it, and I liked it for a few reasons. And there was a couple of things I didn't like per se, but I liked the ground attack. But what I really liked about the ground attack was the fact that Chuba Hubbard actually showed up.
Yes, he did.
And he really looked like what me personally, I think he should be in his role as a Panthers back. He was a good change of pace back today. Him and Raheem Blackshear. Because Chuba had 74 yards, Foreman had 74 yards, Blackshear had 32, and Hubbard and Blackshear had, 2 rushing touchdowns. But Hubbard, he ran with toughness. In that one play where he went and got the first down, he literally carried about 2 defenders and one of our offensive linemen for about 3 yards. And pushed through and got the touchdown. And
I was surprised. I was surprised at that move. I was like,
me too.
I know he's been like lightning in the bottle, but that run right there showed me like, okay, you may have been in the weight room a little bit. You may have been squatting a little something. You got a little leg drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But the thing that I liked about him the most was that when he got the ball thrown to him, he actually caught it. He actually caught it and made a few plays. He had 3 targets and he had 3 catches for 25 yards. So he made some plays. So, Carolina as a team ran for 223 yards. So anytime you get 200 yards is a good day. I don't care who you play.
On 46 carries.
Yeah, I don't care who you play, and I'll take it. And, and that was enough to win the game. Only thing I didn't really like is Sam Darnold was cool.
Right.
He did what he should have done. He managed the game, but I would have loved to see the the passing game be just a tad bit more, effective, and we won the game, on the back of our rushing attack, and that was great.
Right.
But I think we're going to need the passing game to step up more in these next 4 games to come. And I'm hoping this is just a case of we didn't really need it in this game. I'm hoping that's just what it is. And I'm just hoping that going forward, if we need it, it'll be there. Because like I said, we didn't really need it in this game.
Right.
But if I could have any sort of a knock against them, that would be it. And it's not really a bad thing, but I'm looking in the future, towards future games. So
right.
But
the only reason I would disagree with you on that one a little bit is because
you like to disagree with me.
Well, that too. But no, honestly, yesterday after the game in a post press conference, one of the reporters asked Steve Wilks about the lack of passing attack, and he said that it was a part of the game plan because they was trying to limit the possibility of causing giving the ball away, and they was trying to limit potential for mistakes, and they wanted to lean on their run game. And once they got the run game going, there was no need to try to force anything just to get the ball downfield when the run game was getting them up and down the field like they wanted it, and it was eating up the clock. They had like close to 40 minutes of clock time yesterday. So it, from just listening to what he was saying in the post press conference, that was a part of the script. So in that turn, I looked at it as Sam Darnold, executed the game plan to how they saw fit, because that's what Coach Steve Wilks was saying was part of the game plan. It was the game plan yesterday was to lean heavily on the run game and only take shots downfield if it was there. If it wasn't there, they were going to continue to run the ball. That's what it looks like they did.
Yeah, and I get all that, but Carolina still had that, as I've said before, we showed up in the first quarter, we took 2 quarters off, and then showed up again in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so what 2 quarters? Now I know the third quarter we didn't score anything, but we had 10 points in the first and 10 in the second and 10 in the fourth.
Oh, you know what? My bad. Maybe I'm sorry. We took the third quarter off. My bad.
Yeah, because usually this season, what from what I've seen, we've come out pretty okay in the third quarter, and we didn't yesterday. But the first, second, and fourth quarter, yeah, I think we played pretty good those quarters. We ended the game the same way we started, which was pretty strong.
Okay. Well, you know what? My bad. I was wrong on that one. Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. My fault.
No worries.
My fault. But yeah, okay. I'll give him that. But I'm gonna still stick with what I said though. I just hope that's not going to be hard for them to turn on going forward. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like I was saying earlier, last night when me and you was talking, like sometimes you have to win ugly games like that. It's not going to be how we would like to see it. Now, I would love to see DJ Moore get a catch yesterday. He didn't. I would love to see Terrace Marshall catch the ball more than one time, but he didn't. But we got the win. We did what was necessary according to the game plan to get the win. I think the potential, we have the potential to to throw the ball deep or move the ball through the air. We've seen that. But I just think yesterday, because their run defense was suspect and our offensive line and our run game is, in the top tier. So it was like we took advantage of their weakness. So there was, to me, in my eyes, there was really no need to get away from that. That's all. Now,
Yeah.
it was
I
ugly, but it was
completely agree.
effective. Yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm just saying, I hope that's, I hope going forward, if they're able to flip that switch, they could turn the lights on. That's all.
Right. I get you. Well, I hope so too, because ain't like it's not like the pass the game is a real consistent thing. But I see what you're saying. I hope it's there when we need it.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting at. Because, like I said, if that was the only that was the, I got to give pros and cons, and
Right.
if that would be the only con I could possibly pull out of the game yesterday, is that I hope going forward when we need the passing attack, it's there. That's all. I love the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It ain't nothing better than see your team line up. You got Big K Mays back there playing fullback, and you run the ball down the throat. And then when you got that what is it? Kind of like that a pistol formation, and then you got big Ian Thomas, on the side is the lead blocker.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean they got a few decent first downs out of that formation. What was it? The first drive, it was like third and it was third. I think it was third and more than 10. And they handed that ball off, and I'm sitting on the couch hollering, "Throw the damn ball!" And the next thing you know, Chuba Hubbard runs for first down. And I'm like, "Oh, well, never mind, my bad."
Yeah. Hey, I think besides the game last year he had against Atlanta, that first game when Christian McCaffrey went out, that was another game where we ran the ball like 47, 48 times in that game and he scored. But I think yesterday's game was his best all-around game, because he not only did it in the run game, but he was also a contributor in the pass game. Like, I was really surprised, and I don't know if you've noticed, but yesterday, one thing that I've always harped on about Chuba is that he's not where his feet is always at. It's like his body is in one position and his feet is trying to catch up with his body. And yesterday he looked like he ran with more patience, more balance, but he still has some power when need to. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you always say that you always say that if the hole is not there, then he ain't running through nothing if the hole ain't wide open. But he was patient yesterday, and he found the hole and ran through it.
Hey, kudos to him. He wasn't just looking like lightning in a bottle. He was hitting the holes with some balance, with his feet up under him. And there was a couple times he was like maybe one juke away from busting it loose. You know what I'm saying? And you want to see him with that kind of cutback ability, because he has the speed to break one when he gets open in the open field. So I was just happy just to see that yesterday, man. To me, he looked like a different back than at any point in his career so far. He looked real good to me yesterday. And evidently he looked good enough to the coaches, because it was the one series where he played the whole series. And they had the commentators thinking something was wrong with Deontay Foreman, but it wasn't. Just Chuba was the hot hand at that moment, and he looked good.
Him and Black Shear were about maybe a juke or two away from breaking the big one, because Foreman was just he was in bulldozer mode. He got the ball, put his hard hat on, and was just like, all right, who's the first person I can run over?
And I love that.
He was getting them tough yards.
I love that. I actually saw him. I actually seen him lower his shoulders, and lean forward and get some tough yards. Like, I mean, he was like really punishing tacklers yesterday, and I love that. I
Yeah.
love to see it. I
He
love to
ran
see it.
into he ran into a defensive tackle for Seattle,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
commentators were talking about it. And I think that I give him credit. Now I don't think the defensive tackle was like perfectly square and on balance, and was was squaring him up because the offensive line was grabbing at his feet. But you
Right.
got to give it to him regardless. You hit a 300-pound man and knock him
Yeah.
backwards and get 2-3 more yards. I'll take that any day. I don't care if he off balance.
Any day. Yeah, any day of the
Any
week.
day. Yeah,
Like they say,
those are
baby,
some tough yards.
2 yards in a cloud of smoke, cloud of dust. I mean,
Who the
yeah.
hell say that?
Hey, that's the old football saying. 2 yards in a cloud of dust. Oh yeah, that's grown man football right there. That means line up in the trenches, mano a mano, come get it with your muscle.
2
Yeah, we about to
yards
do this.
in a cloud of
2 yards in
dust.
a cloud of dust. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, hey, that's
You
the
you
first time I
you.
heard that.
I know you have to be you have to be a football athlete to understand some of these terminologies. I know you didn't. Football wasn't your thing. But hey, cool. I'll explain it to you. Don't worry about it. I get you caught up.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I don't
Right.
get it. Two
Right.
two
I
two
know.
yards in the cloud of dust don't really make sense. But wait, whatever
Yeah.
floats your boat. But look,
Hey.
if that's what y'all need to say to get hype, hey, go right ahead.
Hey, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. It ain't got to make sense to get the job done. You know what it means when it say it.
Okay, I got you.
Right, right.
What did you think of the game yesterday?
Well, back-to-back wins and the first one on the road since week 10 of 2021. Definitely happy about that. We are winners of 3 of our last 4. The defense played a very good game for 4 quarters, finishing with 3 sacks, 2 interceptions. They have 4 tackles for losses, 5 QB hits, and limiting Seattle's run game to 46 yards, which I thought was very impressive. Even though they were without their top 2 running backs. What however you want to chalk that up, but the fact is we still kept them within I'm sorry, we kept them under 50 yards rushing for the game. I was glad to see the defense play with some intensity and aggressiveness coming off the bye week. I thought that was important to come back and set the tone what they wanted to be the remaining 4 or 5 games of the year. Dolphins did what, they do best, and that's run the ball. Like we said earlier, 223 yards on 46 carries and 2 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Foreman both had 74 yards rushing apiece. Chuba also had 3 catches on 3 targets, like we said earlier. And I believe Raheem Blackshear got his first rushing touchdown of his NFL career. And Shot Smith, too. Now, it was either his first one of the season or the first one of his career. I can't remember exactly which one it was,
I
but
think career.
yeah, so he got in the end zone as well. So that was good to see, especially with the ups and downs he's had throughout the year. So that was good. It was good to see he was rewarded and got into the end zone. Now, like we were saying earlier, Sam Darnold wasn't spectacular, but he was very solid. In my opinion, 14 to 24, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and he was sacked twice. I think he played within the game plan and executed it. And I think he made plays when necessary, even picking up 30 yards rushing the ball. So overall, happy with the win and effort for 4 quarters against a playoff caliber team that was on a hot streak and beating them at home. So that they definitely have something to build upon, take from this game, good and bad. So whatever the mistakes were, learn from it and correct it, and the good build upon it. And we'll see what the remaining 4 games of this season has in store for us. Because right now we in a position to where we can actually sneak into the playoffs and have a home playoff game. Now, how crazy is that to think of? It's like even crazy to even have the possibility to even say that coming out of my mouth. If you just look back 3 or 4 weeks ago, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
It didn't look like this at all, but now we sitting 1 game behind Tampa Bay, and we have a tiebreaker with them so far. And next week don't look good for them as well. They play Cincinnati and we play Pittsburgh at home. So we win and they lose. Now we in first place in the NFC South because we do have that tiebreaker.
Man, let me tell you, I'm mad at the damn Saints because I was in New Orleans last week when they played. They were in Tampa Bay, but they played. Yeah. They played Tampa, and we went out to dinner, came back, and New Orleans was up 16-3, and I was like, "Oh, okay, bet." And then next thing you know, they just collapsed and lost the game in the last few minutes. And now I'm sitting here crazy. Like. Yeah, I'm sitting here like, damn it, New Orleans, like we be in first place right now if you would have just held on them last few minutes of last week. But hey, it's all good. Hopefully, like you said, it'll work out, in our favor next week.
It was like New Orleans, you had one job. All you had to do was one job. You matter of fact, they had the game in hand with 3 minutes left in the game.
First down. All he had to do.
First down. All you had to do was kick the field goal.
Yep.
All you had to do was kick the field goal. No, that wasn't good enough. I'm like, bro, it was an easy layup. It was right there. It was right there, and you let them back in it. So, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Ain't nothing we can do about that. It would have been nice to get this victory, and this victory would have put us in first place. So, we have to do it. Next week, hopefully, we can take care of business, and we'll see what happens. But like you said, I'm with you. What you said earlier, not want to get my hopes up too high. Just hey, just take it 1 game at a time. That's how I'm looking at the rest of the season. Everything is 1 game at a time.
Yeah, and I know we Tar Heel fans too, but if Pickett don't start next week, I hope that same Trubisky shows up today. And not so much shows up next week that showed up yesterday. The one throwing 3 interceptions.
Hey, I told my wife that last night. I was like, I said Pickett got hurt. She's like, what happened? I said he had a concussion. Then Mitch Trubisky come in there and throw 3 interceptions. She was like, oh. I said, no, all hell. I said, no, we want Mitch Trubisky to play next week. We want that same Mitch Trubisky that played this week. We need him to play next week.
Sure do.
Yeah. So, hey, like I said, I'm looking forward to it, man. I can't wait. The next 2 games at home. At least we do get Detroit at home. I thought that we went to Detroit, but we got Pittsburgh and Detroit at home. So if we can steal 2 more wins, I know. I know it sounds a little tough, but hey, we thought the Seattle game was gonna be tough for us, right?
Yeah, this is true. Now, and we talked about this yesterday. I'm just saying, that Detroit's offense is starting to really kick it in high gear, and this is without DeAndre Swift really playing that big of a role. So, they got a lot of weapons for us to stop. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one.
My boy scored a touchdown yesterday on his first catch. Coming back from
Jameson
yeah,
Williams.
Jameson Williams. So I was like, oh hell, here we go. But hey, it's nothing that we can't. It's nothing that we can't overcome. You know, we just have to play our game, play sound. Though the defense needs to wrap up, have gap integrity. You know, play discipline. That was one thing that pissed me off yesterday was Brian Burns being offsides. He has done that throughout his career. He has a bad habit of jumping off sides. Like it's easy to get into his head with a hard count. And I'm glad that Steve Wilkes pulled him off the field for 2 plays. And then when he came back in, he wasn't so eager like he normally is to get off the ball. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know, this is costing us. The 2 times that he got called for offsides, we made good defensive plays and we should have got the ball back or, you know, made them kick the ball. But because we got a penalty, it gave them a first down. I'm like, come on, bro. That's not championship. That's not playoff football. You gotta be more disciplined than that, especially by you being the captain and the leader of that defense. You set the tone for everybody else. You can't be doing that.
This is true. This is true because at one play he was running back and lollygagging, and Seattle was set, and they hiked the ball, and I was like, "Come on!"
And they scored on that play.
They scored.
It was going to be a flag, but being lackadaisical, you know, being lazy. You know, you can't do that. You can't call yourself a captain and a leader of a defense and you doing stuff like that. No.
Yeah, that whole play was busted because they all kind of looked like they didn't know what was going on. And then when he caught the ball, Horn gave this half-ass push attempt at a tackle and pushed the man right on towards the damn end zone.
Yeah. Steve Wilkes was hot on the sideline because he was like, you could see him make the gesture like wrap up. Like, come on, man, y'all got to wrap up. Y'all got to wrap up. I'm pretty sure he gonna get in behind come Wednesday. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pointed out when they review the tape today. When they come in and review the tape and have meetings and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it needs to be. That, like you said, that's not playoff football, and they gotta clear that up quick.
Real quick,
because you know Tomlin and them boys gonna come in. One thing about them, they might not be doing all that great, but Tomlin gonna have them boys ready to go.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, what you got? I was gonna say it ought to be a good game. It ought to be a good game. I know a lot of Steelers fans, so I'm hoping I can talk some junk after next week.
Yeah, I know that there's some of them in my on my timeline too that I went to school with and stuff like that. So I'm waiting for the shit talking to begin this week. So yeah, I got my boots on and I'm ready to go walking.
There you go.
Well, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, sir.
All right, well, that would do it for us this week. Our next opponent is the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sunday at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, Panthers fans, keep pounding.